So introducing today a successful entrepreneur, reality star and mum to two, Fern, to the podcast. Welcome, Fern. How are you?
Hi, Kayleigh. I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me on.
No, honestly, I've been so looking forward to this chat. As like my audience will know, I've been in a really similar situation with you. So I was a single mum with my first child and then went into having my second one with my now ex-partner, but we were together at the time. So
Oh, wow.
so you're so relatable to me.
Oh, I didn't know that about you, Kayleigh. So, yeah, I think there'll be a lot of similarities in our stories,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I had my first, like you, I know how you are with your mum, Jill.
Yes.
I was literally with my mum all the time for the first 3 years I lived with her. So for me, that was quite like when I used to watch your series, first of all, with you and Sunday, it hit home a lot because you
Yeah.
don't have that emotional support there that you would with your partner. So having
Mm.
your mum there is like solid, isn't it?
Oh, I couldn't do life without my mum, let alone parenting. And she
Mm.
really is Sunday's second parent. She
Yeah.
was just my absolute rock. And I'm so jealous that you lived with yours for 3 years.
Oh, I know.
I lived with mine for 3 months, but now even she's so present even with Finty, my second, and just so lucky to have her because I often think this. I often think, wow, when my children, if they have children themselves, will I be as good as Jill? Or do you think it's
Oh,
a
I'm sure you will
generation
be.
thing?
No, do you know what? I think we pick up and take things from our mums, don't we? And then bring that into our lives. And having your mum so present in their life, I'm sure they'll take away bits from that as well. One of the questions I was going to ask actually, have you found that hard not having, I guess, I know she is still really present, but obviously with Lawrie being there this time round, I found that when I had my second, I was really like I found it hard to let go, and he would go and change the bum, and I'd be thinking, well, you're not doing it how I would do it, and I found it really hard to let go. Did you find that at all, or were you
Um,
happy for the support?
I had really mixed feelings because I think when you're a single parent, first of all, you feel like do you know what? It comes with its pros and cons. With
Mm,
Lawrie, where he was a dad before as well, so I could completely trust him with the nappy changes and things like that. And
mm-hmm,
he's very, very good with the children. He's very
mm,
hands-on and loves being a dad. But of course, we were both coming into it thinking that we knew best.
yeah,
We'd both had a child with previous partners, and we're like, do you know
yeah,
what? We've got the t-shirt. We know what we're doing. So I was
yeah,
like, is that going to irritate me when I'm like, you're not doing it how I want? But I think that has definitely been a challenge because I've had to learn to, like you said, almost let go and know that
yeah.
I have got a partner involved now. I never had anyone around apart from my mum when I was raising Sunday when she was a newborn up until I met Lawrie. So it was definitely a completely different
Yeah.
experience, completely different. And it's really funny because I think no matter what, you always think the grass is greener. Whatever situation you're in, you're looking at other people, comparing yourself,
Mm.
thinking, oh, I wish I had that. I remember being a single parent, and you probably feel the same, that you'd look and you'd be like, you'd look at the family unit, or you'd see, I don't know, a dad with their kid in
Mhm.
the supermarket or what have you, and it would really tug on your heartstrings, and you'd be like, well, I'm never going to experience that. Then I did, and then I look back and think, oh wow, when I was a single parent, I could make all of the decisions
Decisions
by
yourself.
myself, and
Yeah.
I didn't have to ask anyone or put it past someone, or have deliberate with someone. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm actually pleased. I feel really proud that I was a single parent, and I think that never leaves you. It never leaves you.
No.
You always count yourself as a single parent, even when you go on to meet, I'm with Lawrie now. But I'm pleased that I got to experience both.
Yeah. So let's talk about, obviously, you're going into, with your new series, you've just had Finty. Absolutely love her name, by the way.
Thank
How did
you.
you find that name? Is it
So
something
I
you've...
had her name even when I was pregnant with Sunday, it's been on my list. I
Yeah.
think every girl has got a list
Yeah.
saved in the notes, like on their phone, of boys' names, girls' names. Although I struggled with boys' names, thank God I had two girls, because I
Yeah.
genuinely don't know what I would have called
Yeah.
a little boy. I had a few names. Anyways, Finty has always been on my list, but Sunday just, yeah, I guess trumped it when she was born, and I just loved it. That was always my first choice. And then I really did just manifest over the years. Like, I could always see myself with another girl and calling her
Yeah.
Finty, and how magical that would have been. And I didn't find out with either of them what I was having. And then, yeah, it was Judy. It is Judy Dench's daughter's name, which I don't know if it's her true name or her nickname. But I remember
Okay.
just seeing it once and just thinking, that is so cute. Like, it's giving like Chelsea vibes.
Yeah, I
You know,
love
like
it.
little Finty. Not that
Yeah.
I'm from Chelsea at all. I'm straight up
No, but
Essex.
do you know what? I think that's why I like it so much, because it's just
Yeah.
unusual. You wouldn't hear it around, my area. I live in Brighton, and although anything goes here, I've never heard that name before, and it's so nice to have that. Like,
That's what
I've
I
got
like about
yeah,
names.
my little boy's called Jude. Actually, you're just saying Judy Dench, and we call him Judy all the time. And I'm like, I actually prefer that now, like Judy. I'm like, I love it for a boy. But
Very
yeah, like,
cute.
yeah, and it
Very
really
cute.
suits him. But then now I'm seeing that become more popular. But I guess you're going to get that now with Finty. You'll be a trendsetter with that, because, as I say, love it, and I'd never heard
Do you
it.
think?
Yeah,
I've actually met a few Sundays since,
yeah,
and
I
I'm not
bet.
saying like I put it on the map,
No,
but
I think you did.
yeah, it's definitely become more popular. But who knows? There might be a few Finties popping up in the next few
Yeah,
years.
definitely. So you saying about you manifesting, I know you're quite spiritual. I love a guided meditation, so I downloaded your app actually. Absolutely love it.
Oh, thank
Really love it.
you.
No, yeah. And on your obviously series, I've seen that you were manifesting. I know this is the one previously on series 11, but I saw you manifesting your birth and everything like that. And honestly, I was in tears watching you give birth, because I was just like, what an incredible experience, because not a lot of people get that positive birth story. And I think so many people are scared to share that, even because there's so many, you don't want to look like you're gloating almost, but then also you don't want to
Exactly
share
that.
bad ones. So yeah, talk us through, because I know the words were that you breathed her out, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did breathe Finty out, and I didn't realise how much of a stir it would cause when I said that on live TV on This Morning. But
Yeah.
some people didn't like it. A lot of the the hypnobirthing community and doulas absolutely loved it. I understand, and I totally get now that birth and just having children in general and how you raise your children, I think it is completely down to you. But I know that it can be really triggering, because
Yeah.
some mothers may feel like they didn't get the birth that they'd hoped for, and they've tried everything, and they had a negative or traumatic experience. But then I think it's really important that we allow those that look. I feel like every mum has the right to share her birth story,
Oh,
however
100%.
it happened. And that means that if it was a traumatic one, or if it didn't go to plan, fine, share it. But I think equally there needs to be a space for mothers to be able to share their super positive stories, and if
Definitely.
anything more so, to let expectant mothers know that it's possible, that it's absolutely possible. And every birth is different, but it is absolutely possible to have a positive birth. And I'm not, like you said, you use the word, I don't want to gloat. I don't want to be like I had the most amazing
Yeah.
birth and I'm mother up, but because I'm not at all. But I definitely was in a very good headspace. I definitely I used a lot of visualization, and I channeled my hypnobirthing and my hypno breathing. And yeah, I guess you could say that I manifested manifested the dream birth. But of
Mm.
course, it didn't go to plan because nothing ever did. Finty came
No.
out way quicker than expected. But thankfully, I really did, on the run up to her birth, I really did practice all the breathing and things like that. I did have a
Yeah.
slight wobble where I was like, oh my fucking God, am I going to do this at home? Because I was so pro home birth that I
Yeah.
convinced everyone around me, even Lawrie, my partner. I was like, no, we're doing this. I knew in my soul that that was the right thing. I think
Yeah.
that like mother knows best, and you're so guided by, like, even if you feel like less movement, you know, as the mother, like, you
Oh,
need to go to
100%.
hospital or whatever it is. So I knew I wanted that home birth. I did have a slight wobble, like I said, and then I was like, no, I got myself back in the right frame of mind, and I breathed her out. Like, I
Yeah.
literally surrendered. And I always say this, Kayleigh, but Finty birthed herself.
Yeah.
I was just a vessel, and all I needed to do was surrender to what was happening to me. And I
Yeah.
love this. Someone once said to me, how can something be greater than you when it is you? When it comes
Yeah.
to contractions. And I was like, oh, that just really sparked something off in my mind. I was like, yes, like, how can something be, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's bloody painful, but it's so part of you that
Yeah.
I
No.
just let go. But yeah, it was amazing. I could speak about my birth all night long.
Honestly, like, for somebody that I don't even know to watch it and be like, wow, because with my first, I was very much like you. I was in this zone, and I had my first daughter when I was 18, so I was really young, and my
Oh,
mum was like,
wow.
she's not going to be able to handle it, because I was like the worst with pain. And I don't know what happened, but I was in the hotel. I wish I was in the hotel. I was in the hospital. And I was just on my, like how you were giving birth to Finty, I was just like that over the bed. And I just wanted silence. I didn't want anyone to touch me or come near me. And I was just deep breathing. I didn't make one noise. I was honestly like, and I thought, right, I've got this now, going into my next one. And then I went into my next one and I got induced. And again, like, my friend had to be induced recently and she was panicking, like, I've heard all these negative stories. And I said, you know what? Mine was actually fine. Induction was fine, and I'd been scared about it, but from me having my first pessary to giving birth was only like 5 or 6 hours, so it went so quick. But because it was COVID, I wasn't allowed my partner there, and they kept telling me I was only 1 centimetre, and as you just said, mum knows best. I knew that I was more, because I was thinking, I'm in so much pain, and I handled this like so well last time. Anyway, I was like, she ran me a bath, and I ended up crawling from the bath back to the bed completely naked, because nobody was with me, not the midwife, no one. And I was like, I need you to check me. Anyway, they've pushed the emergency button, everyone's come in. I was 10 centimetres and she was still telling me I was 1. And I was like, oh my God. They had to call my partner, he had to like race to get there, and then they were telling me to push, and I was like, I can't push until he's here. So for me, like, the end of it was like traumatic, but I've had a really positive birth one, and I think equally are so important to share, because on one hand, you get these mothers who've never had any children, and all they're hearing is negative birth stories, and it scares the life out of some people, you know.
Of
So I
course.
think it's so
Yeah,
important.
it is. Like, I'm not a birth expert, but I know that what fear does to you, it makes you tense, it makes you anxious. And that's the opposite to what you want when you go into birth. Like, birth, you want to be super relaxed, you want to be in your flow, you want to be producing oxytocin, which is the love hormone. You don't want to be stressed and releasing cortisol, which is like an adrenaline, which is going to be fighting the oxytocin, which is going to tense and not stop that dilation. You want to be super relaxed, and I love it. Like, I'm so fascinated. I want to be someone's doula. Like, that is going to go on my bucket list to be someone's birthing partner. But I think it's amazing. I think it is just the most
It's
amazing thing.
incredible. Just going on from there, obviously, I know from your previous series, you mentioned that you had a miscarriage, which I'm really sorry to hear that. How did you find that affected your pregnancy? Did you find that you were really wary the whole way through, or could you actually enjoy it?
I was going through so much at that time when I had a miscarriage with the baby before Finty. And I was so early on that I I was able to really enjoy my pregnancy with Finty. Actually, at the beginning, it was hard because I was going through a lot personally, and I was in a really weird place in terms of like we had to move house, and it was it was a strange time. But I always find that pregnancies, you know, they're blessings, they're absolute blessings. And it was a wonderful focus and amazing news to find out that I was pregnant again, even though, bear in mind, because I can remember exactly when we conceived Finty, because I was like, sorry to go graphic here, but I said to her, I was like, no, like because I wasn't on any contraception, obviously I was going to fall pregnant, but after the miscarriage, I was like, do you know what? I really want to see out this year. I really want to like just get Christmas done and just be present with Sunday and work on myself and just get this year done. You know, when you get to the end of a year, you've had a shit one and you're like, I just want to get it done. There was so many things. And we were in Spain in the October half term, and I was like, pull out. and then that's when baby Finty was conceived. But I of course, like, I was super happy, and you just know when you're pregnant, don't you? But
100%.
I think that I when I welcomed the new year in, I was like, right, okay, I can really enjoy this pregnancy and I can really focus on it. And I like being pregnant. I genuinely love being pregnant. But it was shit going through the miscarriage. It was sad, and I think that anyone that has experienced a miscarriage will know how disappointing it is, and you desperately will try and convince yourself that it's not happening, and that you'll trawl through the internet to find that it's just like is it called implantation bleeding?
Implantation,
and all of these, you're like, oh no, it could be this, or is it just the beginning of the pregnancy, and all of these things. But deep down, I absolutely knew. And then you just have to, I guess, get the and it's really weird, isn't it? Because you still show signs of being pregnant because it's the hormone that's still in your urine, even if you have had a miscarriage, which is just even more confusing. And then you're left feeling so empty, and it's just shit. And then you think, well, when am I going to be pregnant again? And now I'm going to have to wait. That time in between the months of when you then ovulate and have another period is so long. It is so long, like counting down, just like, and that's why in the end I was like, do you know what, whatever. And I guess when you surrender to something,
I do think when you completely relax and don't have it in your head like we're trying, I hear that so many times, that once you just let go, it happens. And you know, there's people that I know that have been trying for ages, ended up going to book in to have IVF, and then they literally were like, right, we're going to do IVF, so they don't think about it anymore, and then they've fallen naturally. And it's just like incredible that
so
your body
lovely.
is just relaxed.
And
they didn't have to go through that, which is just amazing. So going on to Sunday being a big sister, I know obviously she was desperate to have a girl, so I bet that was amazing when you found out that it was a little girl.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
How has she adapted to life as a big sister?
She has adapted so well, and we cover this a lot on the show, actually, of the recent series, that I think that I spoke about this on my social media today, actually, is that you think, oh, you have this, you've got this guilt thinking, oh, I feel like, Sunday's had me exclusively for all of these years, and you feel like that they're going to feel left out, and you feel insanely guilty. But she has adapted so well. Don't get me wrong, there's been a few moments where I thought, is this a touch of jealousy? But Sunday's a very resilient little girl. Children adapt, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
They do. And I think we don't give them enough credit, but she loves it. And I feel like she's you know, got even more responsibility. Like she's carries her everywhere, and
Mm,
she's just, you know, like girls have just got that motherly instinct.
definitely.
I can trust her. Say if I have to, I don't know, pop to the toilet and Finty's in her high chair or in the front room or what have you, I say, oh, Sunday, you watch Finty for mummy. And she is really good with her.
Oh, bless her. I bet she loves that as well, feeling like she's like included and important in it all.
Yeah. The other day she went to a slime party and I saw the lady say, "Oh, has anyone got a little brother or sister?" And she like put her hand really
Oh,
excitedly up in the air and then like turned around and looked at me with this big grin as if to say, but for me,
oh,
looking from afar, it was just such a lovely moment because seeing her face light up to
yeah.
announce that she was a big sister, especially where if you've been a single mum and
Mm,
then you sort of lose hope that
mm,
you're going to have another. And I think
yeah,
I always knew that I wanted to have a sibling for Sunday. So
yeah,
even that, just seeing them together and seeing how happy it makes Sunday has been
yeah.
such a nice experience.
That's so lovely. I know obviously you've got blended family with Laurie's son.
Blending a
Yeah,
family isn't easy, and you've got to respect that there's so many different personalities and so much change for the children, like you said
yeah,
with your daughter being up north and
yeah,
down here and what have you, and
yeah.
then a new sibling arriving. So it's a lot of change for them. But yeah, they adapt so well. And yeah, I love it. I love our blended family. I really
It's
do.
so nice. It's so nice, I think, for people to see like a happy ever after, if there ever is one. But like, obviously, they've watched you for so long. It just be you and Sunday. Then they've watched you meet Lawrie, and then they've watched you have another baby, and you will be a blended family. And I think it just gives other people out there hope. That's what I mean. It's like you're so relatable to so many people, and it,
Oh,
you
thank you,
don't always
babe.
have to see. No, honestly, I mean it. You see all these like traditional families, and that isn't the case for a lot of people. So
Mm,
seeing people like you out there, it doesn't have to be blood to make a family.
no,
And it's so lovely to see.
it's so true. I think social media really impacts on that when you see others or other families, like you said, and you feel
Mm,
like a failure that you've maybe
mm,
split up with a partner or you're a single
mm,
parent or what have you, and or you haven't got this conventional traditional family. But what is the normal these
exactly.
days? And I used to say, well, me and Sunday, that's my family.
Yeah.
And families are made up of all different shapes and sizes. And I think that that's what, like you said, doesn't have to be blood. But
No.
and it doesn't make you a failure just because I think it's really, really courageous when you actually do split and part ways and you've got children, because some could stay together for years and it not be
Mm.
right, but actually making that decision, it's, I've never been there, but I can imagine it's extremely difficult.
Well, yeah, I think like you have to put your feelings aside and think, actually, am I bringing them up in an environment I would be happy if that was my daughter or my son? And, that's the decision that I made, is that I was not happy in the environment my children were being brought up in, and I'd rather them be in two separate homes and then be happy than one and me feel like they're going to end up like me and like many people. My mum and dad split when I was young, and I feel like as an adult, I've had to do work on, past trauma that I know wasn't done maliciously by my mum and dad, but obviously it does have a knock-on effect as you grow up, whether you
Mm,
realise it at the time or not. So I think that was very much in my head, and I think, as you say, so many people stay together for the kids, and it's like, actually you're doing them a disservice by staying together, because they would be much happier having two happy, healthy homes than one toxic environment.
yeah, exactly.
Just wanted to touch as well on, I know you've spoken openly about your prolapse bladder.
Yes.
Now, I know you've done a lot of work on that. I know you had to do rehabilitation on it. Did you find any that it came back at all during like pregnancy or labour, or has it been completely fine?
Yeah, I do feel like it's sort of come back, if I'm honest. I don't feel like
Mm,
it was bad as post giving birth to Sunday. I mean, we
Mm.
joke and said that when Finty come out the birth canal, she healed my vagina.
Yeah.
It's like a healing baby.
She
Obviously
is.
it is a joke, but
Yeah.
yeah, don't get me wrong. People say to me like, "How are you running on your Peloton and getting on the trampoline with Sunday with your bladder?" Yeah, I mean, I do still experience bladder leaks. I'm not going to lie. I've just learned to live with them, which I know is really
Yeah.
bad. I do try and do my pelvic floors, probably not as often as what I should,
Yeah.
but definitely don't think it's a prolapse. But look,
Yeah.
it's not normal to have bladder leaks. It's not. I've done so much research and a few campaigns. It's not normal, but it's so common. But I think for me, I don't have. It's more like on impact if I'm doing like the trampoline or doing like a
Yeah.
really hard run and my feet are really heavy. Whereas
Yeah.
now I can have a brilliant 1 hour workout and not experience any sort of bladder leaks and
Yeah.
run around with the kids and not experience any bladder leaks. It's more of
Yeah.
like a really large cough or sneeze or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I think that's the same with many of us, to be honest. So yeah, you're not alone in that. And I think more people need to be more open about that, because again, it's something that people normally find embarrassing, but the more people talk about it, the like it's not as taboo, is it? So
Exactly.
yeah, well done
So
for speaking out
common.
about it. I know that obviously after people have babies, usually they would end up having maternity leave. I'm self-employed, you're self-employed. How have you found throwing yourself straight back into work and, you know, the mum guilt that comes alongside that as well?
Yeah, well, I have never taken a maternity leave. Being self-employed, I have always gone straight back to work, but and didn't even feel like I went back to work because I never stopped anyways.
Yeah.
But I love to work. I love being busy and proactive and productive. And if I'm not, I don't feel like I'm me. So that's definitely part of my identity. But of course, like you see in the series, that I do have this constant game of tug of war where I go to work for my children. I want to be an inspiration for them. I want, you know, to provide a nice lifestyle for them and give Sunday a great education and all of these things. So I'm constantly striving for them and for me as well. Like I said, you know, it is for me working. And of course we've got our mental health app, Shoorah, so that keeps us incredibly busy. But then at the same time, I really want to be a present parent. I feel like I've just got the balance right. We do a lot of work from home and I feel very lucky that we can. So I do see the children. Well, I was going to say, I do see the children a lot. I'm with them every waking moment, you know, but yeah, it can be a juggle. It can be a juggle. And I don't think you ever stop experiencing the mum guilt.
No, I think even if you're a stay-at-home mum or whether you're working, I think there's constantly, you have a battle with yourself of what you should be doing, whether you should be more present, whether you should be contributing to your household. And I don't think we're never going to get it right anyway. I think trying to find that balance is really important. So you're on your 12th series now, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And
Insane.
Sunday's been brought up from when she was born into this. So she's like a little celebrity in her own right now. How is she adapting now she's at school? Does she get a lot of more comments, and how is she finding that?
Well, yeah, we explored it in the show where she completely took me back by surprise and said, "Mummy, am I famous?"
Yeah,
And
I saw that. It was so cute.
I didn't know how to answer it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the school that she goes to, there's all sorts of children that go there, you know, from sports athletes to, I guess, you know, all different. So I don't think that she is the what would you say?
The only one in the public eye?
Yeah, no, she's actually not. She really is not. But she knows, like she sometimes says like, "Mummy, are we on TV?" And now she's so aware of it. "Mummy, why were they asking to take your picture?" Or, "Mummy, how do they know my name?" So it's all of these questions now, which of course I never had to answer before because she was none the wiser and completely oblivious. But it's definitely been thought provoking for me. And it's a new chapter that I've had to think about,
Yeah, but she handles it well. She seems like she does. I mean, in that little comment in the car where she said, "Mummy, are we famous?" I thought, "Oh, bless her."
Yeah, she's not like super forthcoming Sunday. Like, I don't count her as a celebrity, even
No.
though people know that she is, but she's not like this sort of stage
Mhm.
pageant queen type girl.
Mhm.
Like, she's just not at all. And
No.
yeah, I just think that they're so innocent, aren't they, at that age?
Yeah, definitely. I know on the show, you and Lawrie had your first little date after having baby Finty. Are you finding time to like keep that spark alive? Because I know obviously there's so many other factors that come into it with work and kids and home life and all of that. It sort of always gets put to the back after you have a baby, I think. How are you finding? I know you said you're going away, aren't you? Is it just the two of you going?
Yes, it is, and we're
That would be so
taking
nice.
we're taking Finty as well,
Yeah,
where I'm still breastfeeding, and Sundays with my mama, which she's so pleased about because she
yeah,
just absolutely loves going to my mum's more than anything. But yeah, me and Lawrie are actually prioritizing date night and day dates more than ever.
yeah,
I
good.
say that we've been on like on two, but it seems like a lot.
Yeah. Well, when
It
you've got a
seems,
lot going on, that is, isn't it? To try
yeah,
and fit
like
it
we've
in
been
with
on two
everything.
this year, and we're now in what? Yeah, coming towards the
April,
end of
yeah.
April. So two this year. But it's just so nice. We went out for his birthday for the whole day and just went to food
Mm.
market and went to the theatre, and it was so lovely just to have that one-on-one time together.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it is really important. We sleep in separate beds, by the way. I feel like that's quite common knowledge, which I honestly feel like it saves our relationship. So
Yeah.
actually when we go out and it's just us two, it feels like, oh, we've forgotten something. But
Yeah.
yeah, it has been really good quality time.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. And as I say, a lot of people do push that to the back of, whatever they're on their to-do list, that comes at the bottom priority. But really, you need to make sure that you're both prioritizing each other to make everything else work, don't you? And I know it's hard to get that balance right.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that, I mean, it's always at the end of the pile, isn't it? You're going to
Hmm.
prioritize your children first. You're going to, work comes first, and there's always
Hmm.
something to be done. Like, I get to the end of the day and I have not completed my to-do list. So date night, and also you don't want to like babysitting and things like that with my
Yeah.
mum. I don't want to, I feel like I don't know. I feel like sometimes, not that I'm taking the mick, but I'm like, oh, can me and Lawrie go out on a date? Even though she'd be pleased for us to go and just
Yeah.
have a break. But
Yeah.
yeah, you've got to use those babysitting
Definitely.
dates wisely.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've banked some up now, so she's got Sunday for you while you go away, which will be nice.
Exactly.
So also your app, tell us more about that. So I downloaded it and done a guided meditation, which was amazing because I've just been like doing it on YouTube. But what was the driver for that? I know you're very into like mindfulness and spirituality, and I know obviously Laurie's on side with you with this as well. How did that all come about?
Yeah, so we knew that we wanted to create something that could help and heal people. And we actually
Yeah.
bonded over our traumas, and um, albeit very different, we wanted to create something that had both helped us, the tools that had helped us individually, and put them all into one place to make it
Oh,
really
nice.
accessible, really inclusive, and not overwhelm someone when it comes to
Hmm.
wanting to work on your self develop on yourself,
Hmm.
and to better yourself with self development and work on just slowing the pace of life down. We also didn't want to consume much of people's time because we know that everyone's busy. So we believe that doing something each day, whether it's 5 to 10 minutes, is better than doing nothing at all. But yeah, it's growing from strength to strength, and we're
Mm.
incredibly proud of it. We've got some amazing features launching throughout the year with Shoorah's trusted guru, who is our AI therapy companion. So you can talk to it about
Yeah, I
anything.
heard about this. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
it's insane, absolutely insane. and can just give like sound advice. And then there's so many features to get stuck into, from journaling to setting your goals to cleansing away behavior patterns, positive affirmations, daily rituals, like you said, all the guided meditations. There's so much on there. And then we've also launched Shoorah Business, where we take it into businesses as well. So yeah, it's a
sounds incredible.
It's a growing startup that is going from strength to strength.
And you sound really passionate about it. As you say, you've gone through your own things, and it's nice to find something to give back to, to other people that is going to help.
Yeah, exactly.
So as we said, you're on season 12 of Ferne McCann, My Family and Me, as it's now named. What would you say has been your peak and pit of this season?
Oh, good question. Wow, that's a really good question. Peak and pit. Oh my God, I love that. So does pit mean like when you're just like, no, I've had enough?
The worst part, yeah. The bit that you think, oh God, I could have done without that.
Do you know what? This series has been really fun. Don't think has there been anything where it hasn't been a traumatic series or anything?
No,
I feel like last series me and Lawrie had a bit of a domestic on camera, and people were really shocked, and that was.
No, do you know what though? I actually love that side, because I don't, as I said to you, like so many people just show off their shiny bits, even on social media. They don't want to put out there any negativity towards their relationship and have people talking about them. But I think actually being so raw and open and showing that side, that life isn't always perfect. But I mean, look at you on this series, like you've done amazing. And when you're pregnant and you're going through a lot of stuff, like you're setting up your business, you moved house, all of those things, that all has a knock-on effect anyway.
So stressful.
And it would, So
it was so stressful.
I mean, so many factors.
I think I was really nervous about showing that, and it felt very exposing. But you can't hide when you're filming a reality TV show. You can't self-edit, because people just can tell that you're just acting and that you're just doing it for the camera. But peak of this series, wow, I'm just trying to think what we've done. Peak of this series was maybe finding out that Finty was an indigo child. We went to visit Hagen Fox, who is an amazing astrologer, and he just sort of confirmed everything that I already knew. Finty's very calm, and I'm sort of into that. And she's like this Cancerian water hare. I mean, he is just super knowledgeable. And that was just an amazing moment for me. And then also we had our annual staycay with my besties, Carl and Elle, with Sunday and Finty, even though it was like completely off grid. I think that's actually in the final episode. We went to this shepherd's hut. Oh my God, babe. We run out of freaking solar panel energy, or whatever it's called, electricity.
Oh no.
So we couldn't charge our phones. We didn't have any light. We just had to go to bed in the end. It was tragic. So that was, but it was so fun. That was so fun. And I just love the fact that with this show, we do get some amazing opportunities and get to meet some really cool people. Like, I feel like with this show, I'm always getting to pick the brains of professionals, whether it's a breastfeeding, consultant, to Hagen Fox, the astrologer, to weaning experts, sleep therapists. It's definitely the perks of the show, the job.
Yeah, I remember seeing, what was it? You had like some frog, I don't know what it was, like frog poison or something. Yeah, and I thought, oh my God, like the stuff that you actually do within that series is actually incredible. But I bet it's amazing having all these opportunities.
Yeah, nice, fun. It is good fun, definitely.
One last thing I'll leave it on. We always like to ask what your mummahood must-haves are. So it could be anything, like your favourite product for yourself or the baby, or even like a routine that you do, something like that.
Okay, so my must-haves, well, firstly, I would say it's got to be my Shoorah app.
Yeah.
Because I'm just using it every day. When I wake up, I'm seeing the positive affirmations, I'm writing a gratitude, and I'm always listening to something positive to get me in the right headspace and mindset. And then I would also say So the Mum and You nappies are so soft. They're eco-friendly, like really, really amazing products for your babies. What else have I absolutely like rinsed with Finty? Do you know what? My I can't believe this, but I never had like a baby sling when I was a single parent with Sunday.
Yeah.
How the hell? And we lived in an apartment, like in a flat up and downstairs. And why I never had a baby sling, I don't know. But maybe I think, yeah, my baby Bjorn, you know, is it called a sling?
Yeah, the baby carrier.
Yeah, the baby carrier.
Yeah.
Like literally, I mean, I see girls on Instagram buying the freaking insanely expensive. You know what one I'm talking about. Like there's one that's dog tooth, there's one that's bloody sheepskin or what, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
no, I had the same one as you, lifesaver.
Yeah, why are these girlies saving their money? Like when the baby Bjorn is just like wasting their money when you can like save your money with that. And it's we go everywhere with it, and Finty absolutely loves it. It's so easy, hands free. Yeah,
hands free, especially when you've got another one to hold hands, and definitely lifesaver. Right, so your last episode is out tomorrow, isn't it?
It is, babe.
On ITVx, and you can catch up on the rest of the series as well.
Exactly. You can catch up anytime. You can binge the whole series if you want.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you so much.